That makes sense in regards to what we've seen today was a lot of quarterbacks that did not take one snap in the preseason play. We saw some slow starts. The execution, the chemistry wasn't there. But Jalen Hurts and the Eagles will be okay. I think the biggest thing for me is seeing the Patriots defense. Like I felt like in their division, their defense will have to show up week in and week out, and they showcase that they can do that. Now, let's see what Mac Jones can do.
You know what the Patriots defense is going to have to deal with twice?
Yeah.
A cheetah. Cam Akers, fantasy managers, getting in the end zone twice. And Puka Nacua. 10 receptions for $119 in the absence of the top target in L.A. Who would it be? It's going to be Puka. Again, 30-13, the final in this one. And wow might sum it up, B-Mac, because week one is often the difference between who we expected you to be and who you're starting to become.
Yes.
What did the LA Rams tell you today?
Man, they were the best coached team on the football field in Seattle. They executed the best, so hats off to Sean McVay and his staff. The thing about week one in the NFL, it's the week of unknowns, uncertainty. You don't know exactly what to expect. Even though you go into these ball games thinking you know exactly what you're going to see, you don't know until it actually happens. And that's what we saw today. Two teams that know each other extremely well. But when you talk about having an undermanned team in the Los Angeles Rams, you did not see that based on their display. They took it to Seattle for 4 quarters. Unknown players that none of us would ever think about drafting in our fantasy leagues showed up big time. Matthew Stafford, a guy who we basically just left in the streets, right? No one wanted to even touch him or think that he can do anything that would be relevant in this season for the Rams. Balled out. Williams balled out. Defensively, led by Aaron Donald, they neutralized an offense that I thought would be extremely balanced and consistent in the Seattle Seahawks. Hats off to Sean McVay. We've seen a lot of surprising things happen so far in the week one of the NFL's slate. This might be one of the bigger surprises so far.
I think to that coaching point, too, halftime adjustments. Different team came out of the locker room on both accounts here. I do want to get to the Seahawks and maybe what we did not see, because the big question coming into the season was, could Geno do it again? He didn't write back last year and answered a lot of questions.
Don't start writing back this year.
Got himself a little bit of money as well, but 16-26, $112. It's one game, but it's a big game against a divisional foe. When you look at the top of that division, likely going to go through San Francisco. So if we're fighting for wild card spots, we could look back at this one as a big one. What did you see out of Geno and specifically that Seattle offensive attack?
I mean, it felt like he had his training wheels on within the offense. And one thing I know about Seattle, they're at their best when Kenneth Walker is the feature guy in their offense. When you get Kenneth Walker anywhere between 18 to 20-plus carries, their offense is rolling. We didn't really see that. Granted, we didn't see a lot of Kenneth Walker throughout the preseason because he was dealing with an injury, so they wanted to keep things light for him. But he is the transmission for their vehicle offensively. You don't get Kenneth Walker going, you're not really going to do what they did a year ago. And because of that, I don't think that's why we didn't see the best of Geno. When you talk about going against a defense, a secondary in which DK Metcalf said, I don't know any of these guys' names.